What's up, everybody? Brian was singing the final countdown, so we're just out here, next Build in Public episode. What's up, Brian? How are you, man?
We're back, baby. Let's do this.
We are back. I'm so excited. I'm just been getting in the weeds on all these AI workflows, and I'm excited to share this next one with you guys. So for context, I run demand gen here. Brian's my AI coach, Drivepipeline AI, and has been just like instrumental in helping me go down this AI journey with our sales and marketing teams. And it was really interesting because last week I was taking over Marshawn Dalton's one of our sales reps, and he was out on vacation last week. So it's a good thing. We've been incredibly busy. So our team was taking a lot of calls for potential new members. I've filled in for Marshawn on a bunch of these calls, and one of those calls actually happened on 2 calls. At the end of it, they were like, hey, so do a lot of people expense their Pavilion membership? And I said, yeah, like about 50, 60% or so. Here's a link that you can use. And I shared this like general template with them. And they're like, this is cool, but like, can you make it a little bit more relevant to me? And I was like, oh, shoot, I got to go and like find, I got to map like this person's marketing manager with all marketing courses. Anyways, it took me about like 15 minutes per, I guess, business case. And so, yeah, it was really time intensive. So I figured, this is one of those like middle of the night ideas, Brian, where I was just like, shoot, I could like automate a business case document for somebody to pitch expensing their Pavilion membership. So I was like, this is great. Let's do it.
I'm so excited. Yeah. And, building out business cases, especially based off of, individual prospects, is something every is doing or should be doing, bottom line. And what I'm really excited about this use case is we're going to be able to do this match of who's the person, what are the offers, and especially if you have a really complex product or you have a lot of different offerings and you're constantly trying to figure that out, like how do we make the business case and in which way do we steer them? This is a way that AI can, accelerate your own thinking process. It's, 2 things that you called out. Number 1, 15 minutes per. You can definitely trim that way down. But the other is, I bet as we start generating these AI-based business cases that they can send to their stakeholders, that we're going to see some things that maybe you haven't thought of before, which could be pretty inspiring as well. So excited to dig in.
Super excited. So just to further bolster this whole entire discussion, we when somebody goes through the checkout flow on our website to become a member and they don't finish signing up, they get this email that's like, let's do this, Brian. We can't wait to welcome you. And then there's a link to finish signing up. But the number 1 clicked link is this: I want to expense my membership. So since we did this last email update, 157 out of the 254 clicks in this email went to this expense your membership page, which is a general template that we provide people. It's solid. Like, we've gotten good feedback on the template. It works well, but I think we can be going one step further to the point I had made earlier, where potential members are asking for a more personalized version of this with maybe lists of actual courses that they could take that are relevant to, say, a marketing manager versus a CRO. Events, there's different events for every function. So it's really important that the template is personalized to them. And so I was even thinking like one step further, like we could even create a landing page at the end of this where somebody can, instead of going to here and clicking download template and then going from there, or even having our sales rep run this AI workflow to generate personalized copy that's related to the business case for them, you could even have like almost like a lead magnet, like a form that's like, we'll generate a personalized business case for you, enter your LinkedIn URL and your email, and we'll go from there. So I think there's a lot of opportunities, Brian, to like scale this, starting at the sales enablement side and then moving on towards like a more rinse and repeat marketing nurture type play.
Yeah, this is great. I'm really excited to see the impact that this is going to deliver. All right, so what do we do first?
So, I mean, the AI has got to know about Pavilion to start. It's got to know what we offer so that it can match what we offer to who the member is. So, Brian, do we need to like start with like giving it knowledge, like, or do we like where do we start?
Yeah, so with Copy AI and kind of any AI workflow tool, you've got that prompt there at the bottom. I think let's just go ahead and type a sentence. Let's see what it builds, and then we can begin iterating from there. For those of you that are a little bit more experienced in building AI workflows and can kind of build them modularly from the ground up, you're going to get some insight here as well. But always like to give the beginner version first. So what do you think our sentence here is, Josh?
Your job is to create a business case or scrape a LinkedIn profile, because we're going to know their LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. So do we want to start with scrape their LinkedIn profile, scrape the Pavilion website, and write a business case for why the company should pay for their membership to Pavilion?
Cool. I'll just say, for simplicity, 300-word business case.
Great item here. For those of you that have been playing around with prompt engineering, I'm definitely seeing, and especially in Copy AI, I'm seeing that giving it bounds for how much content you want really helps on the initial quality.
Cool. So given a LinkedIn profile URL, scrape their URL, then scrape joinpavilion.com website, then create a 300-word business case as to why the person from the LinkedIn profile scrape
should join Pavilion.
Should join Pavilion. This is, do you think we need to be specific about the business case, or we'll wait until we change the prompt?
Let's just fire this prompt as is. Let's see what it builds us in terms of a workflow, and then we can take it from there.
Cool.
So for those of you that are seeing this video for the first time, maybe haven't seen some of our previous videos, one of the things I love about Copy AI is that it takes these what are called zero-shot prompts. So many of you, if you're using ChatGPT or so on, might type a sentence saying what it is that you want. And the way to get to really powerful AI workflows is actually what's called prompt chaining, where you break down the process into a chain of prompts. And that is what Copy AI does for you. And here it is.
Cool. So the input is the LinkedIn profile URL. So we can just be like LinkedIn profile URL. And then we're going to scrape the LinkedIn profile. So URL to scrape. I like the way you explain this. It's like chaining, prompt chaining. URL to scrape, joinpavilion.com. And then write business case. So based on the profile, based on the website, write a 300-word business case for why this person from the LinkedIn profile scrape should join Pavilion using information from both scrapes. You're a persuasive business writer who craps. Brian, my words are all sorts of whack today.
I don't know, man. We're tempting the YouTube algorithm, right?
We're gonna crap a compelling case for candidates to join companies. So we need to update this a little bit. You are a persuasive business writer who crafts compelling business cases. Yeah,
for but instead of for candidates to join companies, for team members of companies to get approved to join an education community, right? Something like that.
Yep. I'll say professional
development, much better. Yeah.
So you're a persuasive business writer who crafts compelling business cases for team members of companies to get approval, I'll say approval, to join a professional development community. Maybe include budget.
Mm-hmm. So approval is probably going to cover it for this case.
Okay.
And then what I would do for right now is I would actually delete that entire your business case follows the structure.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just put a new paragraph and say, here's an example. And then drop your template right below there.
All right.
Now, my guess is we're probably going to be using this template in a lot of ways from here, but this gives us starting basis, I think. And cool. Then I'm assuming that template is longer than 300 words. So why don't we kill the write a 300-word business case for right now, because we've got that example.
Okay.
And just say, write an email business case. And then for the example, why don't we say, here's an example email. All right, what do you think? Is there anything else we want to do before we fire this and see what we get?
I think this is a good starting point.
I think so too.
Cool. Let's just
So
confirm Crafts Pavilion to get approval to join a professional development community. Do we need to be specific on that it's
join
Pavilion?
the Pavilion professional development community is what I would say.
Cool.
Yeah, so now I'll give you a quick anticipation here. I think because it's scraping the root domain of Join Pavilion, you might get a little bit more marketing speak, which might actually be good in this case. So that's what we're going to find out.
Cool.
And happy to be the guinea pig on this one. That's easy. Cool. Oh no, my personal information is out there on the internet. What am I going to do?
God forbid. So this is why we're letting this run. This is a good opportunity to share. I've used a few different LinkedIn scrapers over the last few weeks, including Clay's. I found that Copy AI, the way it structures the data from the profile, is a lot easier to query and reference in future steps of a workflow than, say, something like Clay. Clay's great, but like in terms
you can see it right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so really well organized.
Exactly. Like the data structure is so much better and allows you to, in my opinion, to better query it. And then we've got the scrape from Pavilion, which is great.
Just massive. Yep.
And then if I click view full to view full output, I think this is this looks like just the homepage.
It does.
But that's okay to start with. Like we could always have it scrape to multiple pages of the website, or even upload an XML file or something. I don't know. We could do something.
Yeah, we're probably going to scrape multiple pages. But before we go down that one, let's do the alternative version, which is to upload the sales deck and see how that does. Because, we might get an easy win. What do you think?
Cool. Yeah. So let's kind of start down the personalization path. So as a founder passionate about building and leading teams to achieve creative links through collaboration, I believe joining Pavilion would be immensely valuable. So in your case, like you're a founder, you've got to get approval from your co-founder.
Yeah, I might be a poor use case here. Who can we click on? We could do you, except you're at Pavilion, and the AI is going to figure that out. So let's see who's a guinea pig we can.
We love giving making Matt Miner the guinea pig.
Matt Miner, we're gonna have him on at this point.
He's gonna be on
so
soon.
Many times. All right, so yeah, we'll pull his profile in, or we could pick someone from the copy team too. We could pick on Rob or something. But yeah, let's see how that comes through.
Cool. And this is actually gonna be relevant because Matt runs demand gen at Directus, so it's going to be good for this use case because Matt's like demand gen marketer, and we know he reports into, I guess, like a CMO or a CRO. So this will be interesting to see what it comes back with. And I'll use this time while it's running to just give a shout out to the whole Copy AI team. Kyle Coleman, like homie, he's awesome and has been just like great to work with as we go through this journey. You'll if you go to GTM 2024 in Austin, Kyle's going to be speaking at one of the sessions. So if you can make it out to Austin in October, join us for GTM 2024. It's going to be a good time.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. I'm so looking forward to it.
Great. All right. So we've got, so let's just view the full email here.
Oh, and we're learning an item here that we tackled in the last time, which is we've actually got two people that we're referencing. We've got the person whose LinkedIn we're scraping, and then the person who they're going to be pitching it to. In this case, the AI has made it the same person, so that'll be something to configure as well.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So let's just kind of see the benefit.
Yeah, some courses that would immediately benefit me. Look at that. Boom. Right off the homepage.
Yep. And Amazing. This is relevant because Matt's a marketer. So CMO school, revenue architecture is like full, it's cross-functional. And then outward performance for leaders is a generic course, is not function specific. So it could have picked CCO school for chief customer officers, but it picked the relevant schools for his course. So I could leverage some of their experiences at top companies, bring fresh perspectives and best practices back to the team at Directus. As someone who values continuous learning, and then he added, when I was 19, I realized my dreams of being a rock star weren't going to pan out, so I decided to sell out.
Amazing.
So funny
I
that
love that it pulled that from his LinkedIn.
That's incredible. I'm here for it. Okay, cool. So we've got some work to do on this prompt. So do you want to start there, Brian, or do you want to try out a different approach for the scrape?
Well, so this is one of the debates we have, and that we were having just as we were getting this set up, and I really think it's important to kind of chase both rabbits for a second, which is when you're okay. So I'm gonna be real with everybody for a second. When you're building out all of these AI workflows, one of the things you're probably going to find is that it's really powerful if the AI knows what you do, what your product is, what the value proposition is, what the benefit statements are, and all of that good stuff. And some of you may feel like you'd rather give the AI your own sales deck for that. And some of you may feel like you'd want to use your website, or maybe you'd want to do a head-to-head competition. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do a head-to-head competition. So this was pretty cool. I think we should just go take this, so why don't we duplicate this and we'll swap it out for uploading the sales deck instead of scraping the Pavilion website. And let's see which of the two we prefer.
Cool. So we've got this duplicated, and I'll just make a note here that this is going to be referencing sales deck. And then what we're going to want to do is go into the info base here. Mm-hmm. So we've been talking about implementing this in Copy AI because from our perspective, this is the quickest and best path to go about this. But if you are hacking your way around this in ChatGPT, you can create a custom GPT and upload information like a sales deck to reference, and you could create a custom GPT that does this for you. It's obviously not going to scale like a workflow will, but that is an option if you want to go down that path. Just want to make sure I made that caveat.
Yeah, I'd love to build on that while you're adding the docs. So this is probably the most significant thing that I would say about 2024. Almost everyone in sales is using AI, ChatGPT, generally speaking. And I'd say somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 20% are power users. But those uses of AI don't impact the whole revenue org because they haven't included automation. And that's why I really love these AI workflow systems. So even if you've built a GPT that really works for you personally, scaling that to the whole team can be a little bit challenging. And there tends to be a lot of copying and pasting involved to get all that information through, into it, and out of it. One of the reasons I love Copy AI is it takes care of all of that for you. You can also do that by using, a GPT with Zapier and, coordinating with your RevOps team and so on. So it's all about sort of like, what's right for you. But again, beauty of Copy AI makes it really easy for us to demo what this workflow would look like and the kind of results you typically get.
Nailed it. And so we're waiting for this to upload. So while this uploads, what we'll do is go back into the workflow and then just make a note as to where we do want to reference this.
We should be able to swap out the scrape with the info base item as we go. Info base is basically Copy AI's terminology for being able to upload files. And you can put all kinds of things in there.
Or maybe we just, in the business case, say based on the info base.
Yeah, so it's just, I think what you're going to do is you're just going to extract info from text. And then you're just going to say, grab that info base right there. Boom.
Do you think I need to add a prompt?
I would say, you could say summarize into, what we wanted to say, courses, benefits, courses, and events.
Yeah.
Great. And then you could just delete the scraped website from here. And then when we do the business case, we're going to swap out Pavilion website scrape with, your scraped text there and relabel it. I I can tell you're already skilling up. I think I think you've reached like first or second grade AI, on the K through 12 spectrum, because you're now starting to use very consistent phrasing whenever you communicate with the AI, which we've learned really helps the AI get what we're trying to get it to do.
I'm getting there, bro. I'm getting there. So in this case, do we need to say that like this is to be sent to like a boss, or does it because
Yes.
they send it to Matt? Okay.
Yeah. So what we want to say is write a business case for the boss of
For the manager. I'll just say manager.
okay, for the boss. We're gonna build this city on rock and roll.
Got to
baby.
give it to the
Let's go.
We were talking about gaming before this, so we could use that analogy. Like,
There you go. Final boss battle for the final boss of the company.
This is important because it's going to the final boss. AI's got to know it's important.
Yeah, start adding that. This cannot fail. Prompt engineering. Okay.
Write an email business case for the manager of. I guess we could just say scraped LinkedIn profile of.
For the person from the scraped LinkedIn profile should work.
Okay. Shape. As to why they should join Pavilion using information from the LinkedIn profile scrape and the Pavilion pitch deck. Because I labeled it as pitch deck.
Yep, that's great.
And then this looks good.
Yeah, it's looking solid.
Cool. And then we'll test this again. We'll use our guinea pig Matt. And we'll run.
By the way, maybe the only person on LinkedIn with bunny ears over their profile. So respect, Matt.
Exactly. I mean, you should have seen him in college at Halloween parties. That was his costume.
Nice. Okay, cool. So our extract info from text did fail.
Yeah. It might have been because the file type was different.
Maybe. So here's what I want to do. Let's get into, so rather than just giving you the solution, let's create a brand new workflow. Just leave this one alone for now.
Okay.
And we'll just create a brand new workflow. And because I want to see how it builds it. And also, this is a really easy way, if you're not sure how to build and copy AI, to have it teach you. So why don't we just tell it? Scrape the hashtag Pavilion deck and summarize. Let's just see what it does. There's a couple different ways you can work with Infobase. Copy.ai supports both a JSON-based approach and this text-based approach. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these two that it does. I find that really helpful because sometimes you want to build automation workflows where really you're just trying to get two different systems to talk to each other, and sometimes more content-based like what we're doing here.
Cool.
All right, so let's see what it does on the scrape content step. There we go. Wow, so it's treating it like a web page. That's interesting.
Yeah. I just wonder. Yeah, go ahead.
So let's give it different instruction. Let's go ahead and describe the workflow again. But this time, let's just say summarize and then hashtag. Let's see what workflow it gives us for that. And I believe this will just rebuild.
Cool. And it is in here, and it's a PDF. Mm-hmm. So confirming that interesting how it treated it. Yeah. It treated it like just raw text.
Yep. That's what we're looking for.
We'll find out how it comes about. All right.
So it looks like it hasn't rebuilt this. So what I would do is I just delete the steps and put those instructions in again.
Okay, cool. Do you know what? I'll just go back to
we can kill the workflow and build a new one. Yep.
So we want to summarize that's it?
Yep. For our audience, we are giving you one of our goals with these build in publics is to show you how we would figure something out if we didn't already know the answer. So that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
An interesting thing about summarization that I learned is that technically in today's LLM models, so GPT-4, Sonnet 3.5, summarization really just means shorten. And it was one of the explanations for why, if you've thrown AI on your call transcripts and asked it to summarize it, sometimes it seems like it misses the most important information, because all it's actually doing is shortening the amount of text that you have. And that's one of the things I appreciate about platforms like Copy AI, is that if you say summarize, it does some prompt engineering so that you get a summary instead of just a shortened list. There we go. Access info-based content was the step we were missing, and now we've got the summarization. So your input trigger there at the top, I don't know that we even need that.
We don't have anything, yeah.
I think you can just kill it, or throw in a dummy. All right, dummy. Let's test this workflow, see what we get.
I mean, what else are we gonna do here?
Now we're really going for it.
Okay,
well, I don't know, man. I just saw Goosebumps with my daughter because it's her favorite film right now.
Yeah.
And so dummy is now a trigger word for me. I'm not sure we could be throwing dummy around. Slappy's going to come out here at any point and get us into trouble.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. But also, one of the great things about Copy is they don't, we're not getting dinked credits by testing all this stuff out.
Huge. Really helpful.
Compare that to a Zapier, where Zapier
you do something, you're running a credit, baby.
Yeah, because you're in Zapier, you can test individual steps, and you have to go step by step by step. Then I equate the sort of workflow build to Zapier in that regard, but with this, I can run the whole equivalent to a whole Zap within a test, which is fantastic. So in this case, we've got the extracted test. Extracted text. So we've got the pricing, everything is in here structured, and then we've got the summary here.
All looks good. So basically what we learned is the step we were looking for is access info-based content. Why don't we go back to that other workflow, throw that step in, and replace what we put, and see how it does.
Cool. So we're going to go side by side just because it's going to make life a little easier.
Nice.
So instead of extract info it's going to be extract info from text.
Nope. What we're going to do is we're going to add a different type of step. So, you go there. You can click one of the nodes.
Okay.
So totally clean it up. So just access.
Actually, it looks like the type is extract info from text.
Oh, look at that, but it's just labeled. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's what you were trying to explain to all of us.
No, that's okay. We're out here learning. That's what's so cool about it. It just creates the name nomenclature for it.
It's so iterative. Okay, so now we got our background. There it is. Do you see those brackets at the bottom? Full text content extracted from info-based file. I think that's what we were missing.
Cool. So we're good to go there.
Cool.
Now I think we just run it again.
Let's give it a shot.
All right, cool.
Matt Miner.
There we go.
Which every time I say his name, Fort Minor keeps coming to my head.
Oh my gosh.
100%.
Everybody's going to remember his name now.
Everyone's going to remember your name now, Miner.
So I do. Caveat, I play in a 90s country band with Matt Miner, so when we meet up for practice on Wednesday nights, I do get his approval to use him in our Build in Public series.
I need a clip of this. And it has to be shared in this episode. Y'all have to shoot a clip.
Yeah, we're gonna just.
And if you do the country '90s version of Fort Minor, I will say that will make my month right there.
100% reason to remember the name.
Yes, please, let's do that.
There we go. All right, cool. So we got the business case,
and it's epic.
Streamlining our demand gen processes and staying up to date. So it brought in some personalization there. And it's using the template that we already had before, but made it personal for Matt. Dear manager name. Yeah,
this is looking really good.
Yeah, this is super solid. And we could even go so much further. So what this is telling me, Brian, is that the uploading content is probably going to be the best bet from a from just like to have a little bit more control, and then also it's probably cheaper too from a per credit basis, right?
Yeah, this step is cheap. In fact, if you scroll to the top, it'll tell you. Yeah, so estimated credits is 8 for this whole workflow, and I think like 5 of that is scraping a LinkedIn profile. So this is definitely a pretty cheap workflow you've got here.
Nice.
2 things about your conclusion. So for our audience, you may have heard of this term called fine tuning. You might have heard of RAG or training data. And what we've basically done is we've kind of done a miniature version of this where you could actually design the deck that you upload to be targeted to this use case, and that will improve the output. Mm-hmm. So that would be my suggestion. This is, why don't we call this, build one for solving this. And when we do our follow-up episode, why don't we go for really knocking the ball out of the park, so to speak, with a really tuned deck. What I love about this is you can just take any sales enablement tool that you have and drop it in and get great results. But it'd be fun to see how fine-tuned can we get, especially considering that this sponsorship wouldn't just be useful for executive members, but also for associate members as well. So it might make sense to have, two different decks that you're feeding in.
I agree. So homework is going to be take this deck, make a version of it for our associate membership tier. We can make it much more robust in the sense of we already have all the courses. We could probably even add a slide to share like all the upcoming events, not just our big flagship events, but also our local chapter events. And we could just figure out a way to like incorporate those so that way it's incredibly clear, or at least the AI is incredibly clear on like every single potential type of benefit that Matt could benefit from, so it has more knowledge to reference. Does that seem like a good next step?
Yeah, I think so. And this is something that I believe after 2 years of building AI first go to market is, and you and I've done a lot on this, is it really pays off to be as specific and particular as you can be when you're building AI systems. That's how you get way past those typical concerns about it being generic or wordy or not that helpful. The way that you get through those 3 problems is you just really invest in your AI workflows being as detailed and as narrow as possible. Because as we've just shown, again, the AI is already pretty powerful at taking a LinkedIn profile with a ton of information and a website or a deck with a ton of information and finding the things that connect the dots between them. So, investing in giving more detail helps a lot, especially in terms of it feeling like the right email for every person that you're sending it for. So 2 things that I think would be helpful for us to do in terms of that next step of fine-tuning. One would be, I know you've been writing some of these intros. Why don't you bring a couple of those examples, anonymize, and let's drop those in as examples as well. So not just the template, but let's also drop in how you've done it. And then the second is, I think now we want to go in and we want to start thinking about that structure or number of words, because we saw with the deck, you gave it so much relevant information that it actually created like a huge email, which might not be a problem. Yeah. But I think, getting it scannable, manager ready, I think seems like the next thing to target.
Beautiful. So we'll work on those items, and we'll also work on the actual deployment is something that we can also share on the next episodes. We'll fine tune this, we'll get it done, knock it out, feel good about it, and then we'll go into actual like implementation, both for sales to use, but also potentially as a lead magnet or a way for people to self-serve. So I'm so fired up on this, Brian. Great session. If you're watching this and it's after August 20th, 2024, hit the link below and watch the next episode and see what happens. Super pumped.
And drop us a comment if you have questions, suggestions, or ideas. Like we are, Pavilion has been a life-changing community for me to be a part of because it is a learning community. Every event that I've gone to, I've made friends. I've learned so much.
Yeah.
So I'm super grateful to be a part of y'all making this thing happen. And we wanted to give everybody something to see for themselves what it could do. But we're also open to trying things out based on your suggestions.
Cool. So take a look at the description. We're also going to link out to the workflow in the description, so you can use it on your own. That's another cool thing, is you can share workflows in Copy AI. So you can just click that, take a look at it, clone it for yourself if you got an account. And we'll see you next time.
Off to the races. Awesome, man. See you next time.